Hi everybody, it's Mackenzie and I wanted to do a video for you guys on questions that we asked and good questions to ask a home birth midwife. If you are interviewing midwives and considering home birth, these are questions that would be good. Some of these are questions we came up with ourselves, and then some of them are questions that I had looked to see what other people had asked midwives because I didn't really know what all I wanted to ask. So it's always important to be comfortable with your care provider, whether you have a midwife or an OB or anything, but especially when you're doing a home birth, it is a little less of the norm and it is a little less well known. And so you just really want to make sure that you are comfortable with your provider and you feel safe with them. So I'm just going to go down the list of questions we asked and let you know. All right, the first question was, what is the cost? Are there payment plans, discounts, or do you accept insurance? And what services does that cover? We asked, how many births have you attended? And how many births do you attend each month? Because it's just good to know. I want to know if there's going to be 10 other births she's trying to attend, there's a good chance of overlap. So we also asked, do you have a backup midwife? And if so, will we meet her? Have you ever lost a baby or mother? That is a question that's a little uncomfortable to ask, but it's important. And if it did happen, you want to know why. Is it something that was controllable or not? Do you carry drugs with you if something happens like hemorrhage? Under what situation would you consider me high risk and want to transfer my care during pregnancy or during labor? And then also for us, I asked, we practice natural family planning and we know our conception date. Can we use that versus the last missed period? Because last missed period is very inaccurate for most women, especially me. So we asked that. Also, how far after the due date do you allow mother to go before considering induction? How do you monitor health during pregnancy? We asked, do you require glucose testing or do you require group B strep testing? If so, how do you perform these tests? And what do you do if we are positive for group B strep or for gestational diabetes? And then we asked, does my care change if we have twins or a breech baby at term? What do you do to prevent tearing? And what would you do if a mother does tear? What is your transfer rate and under what circumstances do you transfer? Which kind of goes hand in hand with the high risk or what's an emergency situation. What's the C-section rate? How do you handle an emergency situation? And then I asked, what makes a family a good candidate for home birth? Because I feel comfortable with the idea of home birth. I think we're great for home birth, but I want our provider to feel the same way. I don't want her to be like, uh-oh, I'm not sure about them, I want them to feel that we're good candidates as well. So I asked that. Are you NRP certified if something goes wrong with baby, which is basically like if the baby stops breathing or something, do you know how to bring them back and whatnot? At what point do you come over when it's a home birth during labor? What items do we need to have? Do you care if my husband delivers the baby? Do you allow delayed cord clamping? And also other things like, what are your requirements for birth? Do you make us do vitamin K and eye drops, or is that optional? Stuff like that. What are you going to do and what are optional and what can you not even do? We also asked if they allowed water birth. Does anybody come with you to our birth? And is there any rules or highly suggested statements on the amount of people at the birth and my children being around, as well as having a doula. Like, what's your stance on that? Would you rather just be us and you? Is it going to bother you if we have people around? Is it going to bother you if we have our children around? Is it going to, stuff like that? Because, like I said, we want to be comfortable with our provider. We want our provider to be comfortable with us and our decisions too. So those were the main questions that we asked. And we just really wanted to make sure that our midwife was going to agree with us in certain areas and respect our decisions, but also be strong enough to step forward and say, listen, this is not a good idea if it really wasn't. We wanted to be on the same page going into it, but if down the road, especially during labor, if there was a situation where she really needed to step in, even if it went against like our ideal plan, I want a midwife that's going to be okay with that and that is going to be confident enough to do that, even if it might be upsetting to us at the time. So that is what we were looking for, and those are the questions we asked. Leave in the comments below questions that you asked your midwife or care provider, and we will talk to you in our next video. Bye.